If you ask a parent, they might call it intuitive. If you ask a musician, they might call it inspiring. To a doctor, it's groundbreaking. To a CEO, it's powerful. To a teacher, it's the future. If you ask a child, she might call it magic. And if you asked us, we'd say it's just getting started.
Somehow, liking the class in the way of interactions with the topics that we are going. I think some of the lecturers are saying that some of the other classes have been very quiet, but everybody listens to yes, listens to looks at your face. So they don't know whether they're in class understanding what is going on, or they are not understanding the class. Yes, I said there's a theater. And he asked a lot of questions. They should get ready for that. What we need to move on to is chapter 4, which is, yes, some people have about 5 weeks to move to yeah, that is 8 hours. Yes, the board of 12 medicine. I recommended them.
Yes, yes, and what is the process the code?
Can I access the code? No. What I ask you, can I say the chapter talking about the code? With the code, I said you should, if you know if you watch the book from a different place, you could actually ask the link to sell to you. Some people have been succeeding in getting it from the link. So you buy from if you buy from said code, now she's very admired that she can buy it for you. She sell it to somebody else. They said yes, so they announced everything. The code is not working. It's not working well. It's not into the minus lab. What is going to happen is that on Saturday, Dr. Ajay Mensah, okay, Jay Mensah is actually practicing. Jay Mensah will come here, and he is the one who is looking for the codes to administer the MCQs. So what you do is that you come here and show him how to log into the system, and you also show him where to log into. Secondly, he is the one who negotiated with Setco. Okay, he negotiated with Pearson, and Pearson gave him the link to Setco. So today you are not happy about it. He was not happy with the fact that the investor was trying to prevent them from selling it on campus. So we wanted to go and talk to the bookshop on campus, but it's a private bookshop. So the private bookshop can stock it in the future. However, he's been able to sort out a lot of the things, the issues with the buying of the codes. And I think from ethical and social issues information system is chapter 4. Is that the same chapter 4 in? Yeah. Do you have different pages in it?
Yes.
So, really?
It's like 2 pages ahead.
We have more pillars in the
but it's not coming in the exams. What is coming to the exam is the level. So maybe you may want to start thinking about that. You're reading the wrong for that.
But it's the same thing.
funny enough, the case studies are different, I think so, or they are different cases. There's something that makes the thing more filler. That's according to him. He says it's 2 pages more than yours.
Yeah.
So find out if you want to map page by page. Or buy another book. Anyway, there's no surety concerning the 12th one, but I'll advise you to stick to the 11th one. But the 12th one will be used in June, so those who are coming in June can hijack somebody and sell the 12th one too.
By the next session.
The next session, if you have got some friends that you are recommending them to come, give them the 12th one. Okay, let's continue reading and get to the more interesting part of what we discussed strategy. Now we are moving to ethical issues and some of the sensitive issues in relation to technology. First question I would like to ask is that, in your own opinion, what do you think ethics is? Stop looking at this. The exams will ask you. You want it to be open book is you have the higher rate of failing. How do you see the people that are watching this? You spend time looking for a question, you have 30 minutes more. It's not the best. What do you think ethics is? Ethics. The ethics are code of ethics. What does it mean? You are very comfortable chairs. Don't see it. They're going to they look.
They look comfortable.
Someone see the center of person. So what do you think ethics are? Or what do you think what is ethics? I asked a question, you will think of my question, why I take it? Okay, I know, it's thin. You feel the... It's not hard, it's not plywood or metal.
No, it's like...
What do you think ethics is? Yes.
Something that is morally good.
Morally good.
Or acceptable.
Or acceptable. Morally good. So what is not morally good? When you kill them? There's no morally good.
But my one is just...
What do you think ethics is? Code of conduct.
That is accepted by
I didn't add any code to it. Acceptable what? Conduct. Acceptable conduct. Okay. So now tell me, are you sure that everything is acceptable? That is all of ethics. Is there a difference between ethics and rules and regulations?
Yeah.
Ethics has to do with behavior. Rules have to do with what? Conduct. Rules drives the behavior and ethics does what? But are ethics compulsory? No. When you join something like Association of Engineers, they give you code of ethics. What does it mean? So far as you are a member. So if you don't want to obey it, you don't become a member. So ethics guide behavior. So is it compulsory or not? So you identify yourself with the body, you have to abide by it. So if you don't want to abide by it, you need to. So ethics is something that rules of behavior which governs your membership and institutions. Now what you write there? Is that what you actually go through on the paper? Okay. Principles of right and wrong. are individuals acting as free moral agents used to make choices to guide their behavior. Okay. So, but are ethics compulsory? So far as you belong to that society or group, you follow their ethics.
Financial institution, they have a code, it is written. So if you violate it, you are punished.
Like you don't pay dues. I didn't pay your party dues. That's why I said you are not voted. So on that day, you choose where you watch the check. Some of you are not very good. Information systems raise ethical issues all the time. It makes us question what are the things that govern our behavior in using information systems. And we are going to look at some of the issues that it has been raising over some time. Now, it can either raise it internally in the firm or externally out of the firm. Because we use information systems in and out, sometimes the ethical issues come within your company, like should IT read your emails? That's an ethical issue that we should ask ourselves. Or, outwardly, how do you relate to customers and their behavior? And I'm going to show you a number of examples, and we are going to look at different scenarios and ask ourselves, what would you have done in that time, or in that scenario? So the first thing we want to look at is the Vodafone 3030 advert. That is a way of communicating themselves. It's a telecom company, they wanted to communicate themselves out there. And they did an advert. Do you remember this advert? The love story. Those who didn't watch it. The advert is initially not targeted at the Ghanaian market, but it's like
that's a setup.
if you are working with Vodafone, this is
Talk for up to 30 minutes and pay only 30 Ghana pesos. Each time you call any Vodafone number, just call 3030 to register once. Get connected, call 3030, start talking, keep
now listen to
talking.
the address. We don't need to
It's your time.
Hi, Kwame. Hey, sis. His name is Kwame. Her name is La. He's so the one for you. I know she's the one for you. He's going to call you. Call him. That's it. Yes, that's really him.
Hi, Kwame. I've been expecting your call.
So, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm really big and strong. Challenge my mind.
So, tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I'm dark-skinned, I'm not too tall, and I'm plump. Do you still want to meet me?
Now, where is the problem with that?
Wrong information.
Wrong information. Are you sure? Yes. Each comment. Is it just about a comment or the attitude which she started with the comment? Remember how she sighed? So, after they did that, in Ghana, we didn't say anything wrong with that because this is Ghana. And Vodafone has want to do something, we don't think there's anything wrong. However, when this thing got to UK, this advert was shown in UK, they didn't have an easy time. They have to stop showing that. And I'm just showing the comments that is on Facebook, that's on YouTube, on the same Vodafone YouTube page concerning the advert. Don't you think you went far by insulting people who feel offended? Discrimination is a big issue, which has been used by some political parties in Europe. As an African and a living in France, I find it really disappointing that these kind of ideas are spread in Ghana, no matter how it is done. Some of you thought the guy was doing this is my address and there's nothing wrong with it. Vodafone can do some sensitivity training, regardless of the market bias and discrimination. Discrimination are the same. The ad was well done, except for the blatant size and color bias. The commercial was cute, kind of funny too, but I'm extremely disturbed about the dark skin and plum comment. The commercial could have done well without it. It could have been a very brilliant advert without it. It's sad how the media constantly teaches us to hate our own beautiful black or dark skin complexion and our beautiful brown bodies. I know some of you have to say that there's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with it.
There's everything wrong.
There's everything wrong with it. First of all, there's already a perception about the kind of clothes we have. On top of it, you select them and then speak against another kind of. Even in the US, calling somebody now is a little bit, or fat is a little bit, you have to say pleasantly plump. Or well and down. That is no, but this is our serious issue. You don't even call the disabled person as disabled. Physically challenged, yeah. Even the blind, visually impaired. But you see, when you are in Ghana, we think that these things are not an issue. But when you start stepping out and having a global business, selling across one country, and having stakeholders and shareholders who come from different countries who are investing in your company, you need to know that you cannot do business and just be culturally sensitive in one country and not be culturally sensitive in another country. You have to be culturally sensitive wherever you go to. And I knew that it looks like now that we take it, have a first day of it, and there's nothing wrong. It's funny that we didn't complain to. It's the whites who are not necessarily black who are even complaining. Or maybe the blacks who are living in the diaspora who are complaining. Which I understand, because the discrimination has been very high. Even kids grow up thinking that there was an advert on CNN that a child a small girl about 3 years old said she wanted to look like Beyonce, so the mother should go and tan her, she wants to be brown. And the mother took her to the tanning salon and they were tanning the child, and the child was on. Okay, the video was on YouTube, and CNN was saying that this is a very bad thing to start at this age. How can this child should be? You should teach the child that color will never stay on the white child's body. She will grow up and then what? The tanning will go in about a few days. You can never be like Beyonce, you are born white. So on both sides, you see everybody is not satisfied with what is Beyonce. But the bigger issue is the fact that the perception we are teaching today's generation, and you end up people having suicides, all kinds of things. Then people are teasing them or being this color or that color. And it's not easy until you are actually being it on the other side. You really don't know how much discrimination goes on, even with people and their color. Even in men, in their selection of who they want to sit by in cars and in buses, or who they would like to give a lift to. It happens that way. Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want you to be seen in my front seat. But this is a big issue that came up, and just in the same way of trying to market themselves, they did this advert. They put it on YouTube. They put it on UK TV, and they put it on Ghana TV. But it was YouTube that most of the rants came out. So that same medium of promoting themselves now became something that was fighting them. And that's one thing about information technology. It gives you exposure, but the exposure can be for you or against you. And that is one thing we always have to appreciate about it, that in as much as we are thinking we are increasing our reach, we are also opening ourselves up for not just criticism, but abilities. Other things that are open to us. Other opportunities, like you go and open an internet banking account, and one morning you realize that your account details have been compromised. Do you blame the bank or you blame yourself? In the US, you have got issues like that have come up, and the banks have refused to own up to it because they think that it was you who gave your details out or went to a cafe and logged in into your bank details and left it there for somebody to pick up. However, it's a bank's responsibility by understanding your assignment that they will help you protect those details. So that as soon as they have a realization, like some banks, as soon as they realize that if I'm not told them you are traveling, if you are using your card overseas, they'll block the card. Because they can't, you are not told them you are traveling and you are using it to travel. And you can't always tell the bank you are traveling. Why? I didn't monitor your lifestyle. But this is the issues that are coming up. So if you are going to use the card abroad, they tell you, I think everyone will do that. They tell them, call international card or something like that, and inform them that you are traveling and that they should remove all limitations on the card so that you can be able to make transactions on it and access it from there. Because sometimes think about it, if you are flying, let's say you are flying to Ghana through France, UK, and then you come to Africa. Within 24 hours, you could have used the card in US, France, Heathrow Airport, then Ghana Airport. The next morning, what do you think the bank will think? You're confused. One person, within 24 hours, you are on all these continents at the same time. It's not even countries, you are on continents at the same time. So it is to flag that it's possible that the account has been compromised. And at the same time, maybe you have some transaction due that you have started 3 days ago to pay something. And at the same time, by the time you are in Ghana, it's also paying something in the US on that same account. It happens that sometimes our technologies open us for a lot of opportunities for crime, cyber, and security risk. And if we don't take care, we will end up breaching these and they come back to us. This is what happened to Vodafone. They needed to do something about it. They came back and they wrote a lot about. They didn't actually apologize. They were trying to defend that it wasn't anything wrong. They knew the context in which it was said, emphasizing and seeing that Ghanaians were okay with it. And truly, nobody has held anybody on Joy FM or any of the radio stations on this issue. Or you held them? Okay.
No, actually, I don't think. You know, it's the entropy in which you find the culture. We don't see anything wrong. But when Cameron came and said gays should be allowed, we also find a lot of things ethically wrong with it. That's what we're looking at. So it's not like we are passive. Yes, or we are so noticed that we don't follow ethical norms to see anything wrong with the apartheid. It is because in this society, they're saying that a play in Russia can be a war in America. So what they are seeing wrong on earth after going to the diaspora and saying, maybe we are not seeing it the same way as they said gays should come around. They are also not seeing it. So this thing is an imbalance.
Is that imbalance? Yes.
Also in transitions, what it says that since ethics is slightly connected with morality, and we know that morality is relative. What is moral to Ghana or a Ghanaian may be immoral to a Nigerian. So when you have to make comparisons in this sense, I mean, it depends on which side you are looking at. Depends on where you are coming from.
What about, forget about all the morals, what about gender rights as a woman?
Not everyone is gender sensitive.
No, but not being gender sensitive does not mean the right doesn't exist. A woman has a right to be respected, and it's embellished with all human rights.
People in Ghana or in Africa, no matter their level of education, they their upbringing, they still hold to their upbringing that a man is superior to a man. No matter the level of it, how far they are gone.
I like what you said, but do you realize that it's not a man who is talking, it's a woman who is talking.
Yeah.
The man didn't say anything like he wanted black or anything. It's the man that was telling that, is that what society expects that good man should be? Okay, understand. And the reason why this is a little bit sensitive is that even in Nigeria, pleasantly young women, if I have to be correct, politically correct, are actually welcomed and respected. There's even fattening schools that if you're going to get married and you're not fat enough, they'll fatten you up. So, typically, the advert is not just about Ghana, it's actually about black. And you should understand that everybody who is in that scenario, even the black American will be offended by that. That doesn't mean that you have to light skin. And how many of us are actually born in Ghana as light skin? You can't even count it. That it's typically not like that. You need to understand that this was something they did, but they could have done better. Yeah. You don't need that comment to make your advert look good. The advert was brilliantly okay. Whatever you are implying, you are implying by even choosing the kind of models of what you do. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So, but when you make your pronouncement, you actually make it that you are making a categorical statement about the society should. Society should look forward to it. And this is how ethical debates are very confusing because you can be in a committee that a man does not see anything wrong with why they're not giving this woman a job. And another woman to see something wrong with it. And this is how it begins. And if you appreciate it very well that all these rights are important, whether it's a male rights or female rights, you need to be able to know how far you're going to take it. Let me give you a scenario. I've been in an issue where we're working in a place and somebody wanted to do a sex change. And he came back to work, sex change, like from man to woman. And he came back, because you're living, sometimes if you work in different countries, this is common, you will see it happening there. Like what he said, something is a war in Russia, there's something else in there. The person came back to work and then he came to ask me, I was leading that unit, which bathroom should I use? Bathroom should I use? Now, what I'm going to do is sex change. There's two stages. The first stage is when you start giving your hormones so that your body changes. But I haven't done the change, and that's the first thing I was talking about. So the sex change actually has not taken place, but the hormones are now looking different. The human physiology is looking different. Let me ask you a question now. Which bathroom should I use? The best answer is that which bathroom do you want to use? Because anything you say and it's written down can come back to haunt you or you and the firm.
And what did he say?
And then you leave it in the person's house and whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, what happens is that, you see, that comes to why I was saying rights are important. Here we don't have disabled, most institutions have disabled, disabled facilities, yes. And this was we were fortunate to have one, so there was an extra one that you could actually go there and use it, whichever way it made you comfortable to fit into the community. That was good for the person. But these things come up all the time, and you are not working with price waterproofers and all these things who are got company. Now if they take you to, let's say, Sudan or some different country are working there, Are you telling me that because you didn't learn in the MBA class, you'll not be able to relate very well there? You need to be able to know how. You can't go there and say that now your Ghana gay rights has to prevail. You go there before you enter the country, the gay rights have been given. What are you going to do? You, one person, come to you, erase it. You can't do it. So you know how you need to know how to. When you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do, but you need to let people know your stand. So as for these conversations, don't feel comfortable. I don't have any problem with you, but I don't feel comfortable in discussing them. Then you know you can explain yourself for certain conversations. But that doesn't mean that those people are not good or they're not intellectually better. In fact, you may find out that some people are more intellectually better than you, even though they may not subscribe to all your beliefs. Yes. I think you know it by now. Especially those who use, when you were in school, you think that because you go to the SU, you should get the first class. Then you realize that those who are not going to the SU are the ones who are getting the first class. They ask yourself that they God abandoned you. But then later on, realize that you were not learning. So if you combine that one with them, maybe you will do better than them. But you don't combine those two and say that this is why it happens. So societies like Cameroon, when you put IT, it actually cause ripples of effect, and it can go very far and change a lot of things in the community that you live in. Now, what we are going to do right now is look at different scenarios of how IT influences society in organizations and in society as a large, and how it's having an impact on today's lifestyles. Now, there are three in your textbook. You said there are about 5 key ways that IT is influenced. You can't see the diagram very well, so I'm going to point it out. First one is the information rights of people. The second one is the property rights. Who owns the information that is there? Who owns the information right? Then accountability. Who are we going to hold accountable? Then the system quality. The systems that are using. How is their function have an effect on us? And the last one has to do with the quality of life. How all these information technologies are influencing our quality of life now. You know that nowadays people quarrel because you didn't put a call. You didn't pick my call. And you quarrel according to reply my email. And I befriended you, why did you accept it? No, you are not, but this is the quarrel that people are having. Not about the issue. I put on my Facebook that I'm sick. You didn't call me. Is that where the husband is now? For all you know, me, I'm not really having a computer. Like, no, but I knew your last time you logged me, I saw it. You were online. I don't advise you. Sometimes the computer may be used by 3 people in the house. And it's always on. And he's not the one chatting with you. But that's the issue that we have. I've gone to a bank that the bank teller was chatting on Yahoo whilst he was processing. And you could actually see, and she was smiling. So I said, know your customer or know your friend.
No, sir. It depends. Let's not look at it from that aspect. There are certain...
Ethics has freedom of speech.
Thank you very much. Tell my classmates.
But it doesn't have freedom of domination.
Yes. Now, the issue is this. Those instant messages, there are a couple of firms or companies that rely mostly on that for their work. For example, I use it almost 90% of the time. So if you see me doing it and you think, oh, he's just chatting with a friend, that would be the wrong person.
It's not for a teller. She's a teller.
So I'm not saying anything. I'm listening to you. She was saying that a teller is supposed to be focused on me at that time. You can actually, but sometimes you receive calls while you are sending it, which is wrong.
It may be from other customers.
No, but not a teller. What she said, Joe. Another point I wanted to make is, you see, you don't know the security breaches that you actually do when you are just on the chat. platform. You're actually opening up for somebody to also be able to come if the person is good enough. See, what we should thank God is that our Sakawa boys are not concerned about our country.
Yeah.
If they were going to take time to actually be staying from Ghana, the security breaches, look at all these devices too. Don't take your phone to the bank anymore. Now we carry this device. Am I having a phone? Am I having? I'm having an internet device that can browse and find out whether there's any wireless network in the bank. And sometimes some people don't even put any protection system on it. I can connect. And by the time I see, I've been able to find out that about 2 or 3 computers are open. And then I can do whatever I want to do. And there's something that you also should understand, that all these wireless technologies transfer information through the internet and through the broadcasting it broadly. Now, there are other software that can capture the information and then interpret them for somebody to know what type of information is going on. I used to do this in hotels in Uganda a lot. You can go and sit at the lobby and find out what kind of information is actually going up and down. So you can see people watching movies, visiting sites. Yeah. No, you're all using the wireless network that is there. So all you have to do is to have the necessary software. You can see the type of traffic going. And some software, if your movie is actually being watched, it can tell you this movie is being watched at this IP. Whether that is streaming on maybe YouTube or a page or on a website, you can actually tell you. So you can actually read and get to know. And if you want to download, some of the things can actually ask you, do you want to download what the person is watching? I wish I could actually do it. It's very simple. There are very simple applications.
If you do that, you are likely to find people making laws and stuff like that.
That's why it's advised. That's why it's advised that ethically, you have to be very careful what you do on networks, especially on wireless platforms. When you log into your computer and connect to your network, you remember that they always ask you that, is this a home network? Is this a work network, public network? Even though you are in a public network, most of you choose home or work. Even predominantly, it goes to the home thing. You want to close it fast, so you just click home. But that's the first one that comes now. Now when you click home, the security setup is less, because you are in a controlled environment. As you clicking public, because then when you choose public, automatically Windows knows that you are in a public system and you have to defend your machine to prevent it from intrusion. And the first level of intrusion from Windows, the basic one. So if you choose home, it's a trusted network. That's why they don't use all those words, home, professional, like you want, I want the latest one, so I want Windows Ultimate. Do you really know what you're going in for? You're not exposing yourself, but it can do more, and it can bring in more too. That's what I'm trying to say. It's more secure, and it can also open it up to do more things. For example, somebody cannot run a server on a basic home edition. That's run a server on a server edition. So if you install a server edition of Windows on your computer, and I'm not running a server edition, the chances are there are more things that it can do that it's not doing. The same way, there are more vulnerabilities that can happen to the same system, which you don't know, but you can easily connect to the internet and then you'll be using it. For example, okay, you installing 3 antivirus on your computer, they are working against each other. So at the end of the day, the computer is not protected. So basically, who are you protecting? They are working against each other and they are not protecting the machine. I will come back to system quality and quality of life. Let's start from information rights. Now, in the reason why all these issues are important is that, first of all, there is faster access. Computing price doubling every 18 months. Now, they are releasing more faster computers and faster, and they're also getting smaller. Now you see they've got the ETC phones, which work almost like a computer, the iPads and the iPods and all those things, you can run software just like the computers. Then you can also have all these mini laptops you are carrying. Mini computer, mini notebook. Don't you have some of those Samsung? Now I want you to have some small ones too. Now all these computers are becoming more powerful and miniature in size. We are reducing them in size. So it's going to come a time that maybe the whole computer will just be, even a wristwatch, their computers are wristwatch. Then You are also increasingly storing everything about you online. You do your wedding, then you have your cake, you're taking the pictures, you're posting them on Facebook. Everything about you is being stored remotely. Then when I check the take pictures and they send that one to you, buy the new dress, I'm in the mall. Do you know that people go to games and take pictures there, upload to Facebook? Saturday out. So what you are doing is that you are actually putting more of the data online. And what happens is it becomes easy for us to profile you. So some of you, like if I pick your email address and I Google it, I can get to know an idea of all the things you do online. But it's that same email address that you used to register on Facebook, you used to register on LinkedIn, you used to register your Gimpa issues. You also used to do some discussions on Ghana Web. You also used to go to those underground sites and all those places that we go to. So at the end of the day, high five and go. That is the key word. So at the end of the day, when I'm able to, if I want to understand what is happening to you, I can be able to read that all those things and triangulate them and get an idea of you. For example, in the US, when you are going to work some jobs, they actually do that because they want to know the kind of person who is going to be hired. So if they find you doing some discussions in some form, insulting or maybe discussing issues which are personal to you, they know that if you come and join them, anything that happens in the office will hit the Facebook. So you are very qualified, but you are not qualifying ethically for the online environment that you are joining. You may end up taking sensitive issues in the office. And it happens. Even students do that. I remember I had a lecturer friend who we were working with, and she's a fashion lecturer in the UK. And she was supervising a Chinese student. And the Chinese student had barrier problem in terms of language. Not very well endowed as you know, if I borrow your word, in English. Or knowledgeable in English, or fluent, or... So whenever she went for a meeting with the supervisor, she listens to it in English, and she has a recorder, she records it, and comes back and kind of translates it, and then tries to understand. So every time she comes back, she has a Chinese blog, and she comes to blog out today what happened at the meeting. But today what happened at the meeting, and she writes it. Today when she was born, she was sitting close to a computer, drinking coffee, doing this. We spent 5 minutes, she complained about this. She just, and her mother and parents are back home. Apparently it was her way of writing on what is going out or happening in the UK. So it's just that she's writing everything that happened in the UK, including the lectures that she goes to. She writes everything. Then guess how I found it? We're Googling, I was teaching the lecture that sometimes people put your information online. So it's good to Google your name and don't look at the first 3 things that come out or the first 3 pages. Go to the 50th, the 100th pages, find out what is that. Well, those are the information that sometimes are very disparate and they are far, they are not frequently searched. So we want to find her name, and the name there, it was a Ghanaian name. So we found the Ghanaian name in a chat kind of a blog in Chinese. So I copied the whole Chinese and I put it there. But the name was written in English. So you could actually see that the Chinese writing, you see the name there. And I translated it and I said, look at what the person is saying. You couldn't read everything and make it legible, but I could understand what was happening. That it was a blog about what is going on in terms of the teacher supervision role. Now, whether it is wrong or right, the question is, today's children and today's students are doing it. Even classrooms have got Facebook groups that they use to discuss what is happening. Do you see what you was wearing today? The discussion can start from there and end in a different discussion. So we have, when your information is out there, that way, anytime anything happens, it's easy for people to profile you. They can create an identity. Somebody can go for an interview, but in the evening, go and sit in the pub and be chatting with somebody, and maybe another person who's a criminal or somebody can sit by him and is chatting with the person. Exchange phone numbers. That picture can be taken, it goes to Facebook, and then tomorrow, whilst you have the jobs going to be given to you, those 2 things are linked together. 2 non-routine, connected, non-connected events only just at that point in time you are looking for a job, please connect it. There was a gentleman that, this was actually a simulation, like one of these law and order TV programs. But it's something that can happen in real life. There was a gentleman that was suing a pharmaceutical company for the fact that they are taking him from tryouts and they didn't want to pay some amount of money for him to be able to do some operations. And he was supposed to have lived 1 year without smoking. So, when he went to the court room, and they asked him that, over the whole 1 year, he asked me, I'm not smoking, he said, I'm very sure I'm not smoking. He said, yes, I'm not smoking. Then they took a picture from Facebook and showed it to you. Apparently, when the guy was diagnosed of the disease, I think it was one of the cancerous diseases, his friends came to take him out for camping. And when they went for the camping, because he was very down, was in tears, and it was had broken him morally. And whilst they were in the camping, you know this wooden sticks that you can light and you can smoke in. Even when you are kids, you do that. So in the camping, they were joking with it, and we were just taking pictures. So everybody puts it on the left, and then takes a picture of it. And he went around and took a group picture. And somehow the group picture got onto his friend's page. So after talking and denying he had not done it, they told the pharmaceutical company had befriended him. See, had befriended him. You know, when people ask him, I want to be your friend. Yes, join me, be my friend. You don't know the person. Had befriended him on Facebook without him knowing him. And then they showed the picture. Your mind will never think that somebody will think that we are. Put out the picture and show the picture to him that, are you not smoking here? And the guy went to defend that, and he lost the case. Now, these are real issues that can come up. So maybe you are looking for a job in Airtel and you are wearing MTS shirt and at some party promoting ATM programs, and maybe for the position that you are going for, they think it's a sensitive position. You shouldn't be knowing somebody in that particular position there. It could affect you. It's not true, it can't happen in Ghana. It's too far away from happening in Ghana. When you are fired, that's when you realize that it can happen to you. That doesn't happen. For example, those who work in the human, you know, in some Ghanaians who work in the human, you know that you are not supposed to upload any picture about you or concerning you onto all these platforms and even onto the internet. The reasons are people take people's pictures in the human and deceive them, and then you come to bomb those pictures. That's happened before. They took people's pictures, created an identity like them, and they come to their offices and come and plant bombs. So when you're working in non-multinational institutions, you think it's okay to do everything. But when you start working in multinational institutions, and you are going to find yourself in certain sensitive locations, you always have to be careful how much of the information is out there. Otherwise, it could actually come back against you, or it can be used by somebody against you. Anyway, and that's how easy profiling is. And the other challenge is that the data is everywhere. That's what my students don't realize it. The data is everywhere. The data is everywhere. And it doesn't, I'll just give you a simple scenario. You know the Kofi Annan Institute? It's a very good institute, all respects to them. And there's a time that we did a project with them, just a few years ago. And occasionally I Google myself to find out what is about me there. And I found out on about the 80th page that there were pictures about the program we did there uploaded online by some of those who came to the program at the place. So when I looked at it, and I also looked at the number, I saw that there were discussions that my name was in it. So I started tracing it, and I realized that there was a whole email thread online that was discussions on things going on in Kofi Annan. Apparently, they had open source. When you say open source, an open application, anybody can download it and then use it. Open source application that are used to manage emails, like how you have Outlook. But this was one that was online. And it was for a group, an executive group for a body that was housed in Kofi Annan. And that morning, the director had made some conversation. And when you do send an email to a group, everybody sees it. But however, the email communication access had been opened in such a way that you don't need to log in and you can read the threaded discussions. It's like a group that you can easily join in. But people don't go to the group page. They just use their emails to send emails to the group. And people, when they reply, it goes to all the members. So nobody actually goes into the group page. So nobody knows how secure, but any email that comes in is shown there. I can see threaded discussions, phone numbers, account numbers, discussions that are going. I actually downloaded from, and the software actually archives it. So after every month, it will save all the discussions for January. I downloaded from, this was from June 2010. I downloaded backwards up to about November 2009, all the discussions. After that, I emailed to them that they should look at it, but this is a breach in their own place. And that's very more the discussion that emails that have gone on. This is not their core email, it's an executive board for a particular project that I was going on. And because they wanted to, some of the people who were working on the project were not part of them. They needed to use such a platform to collaborate and bring everybody together. It's like joining a work group that somebody is from maybe New York, another person is from maybe Ghana, another person is from this. So every discussion that was going on, and with the consultants and the discussion that was going on, even negotiations, you could actually read them. You are saying it is very far. I'm telling you something I see. And I didn't even know about it because it just happened that I've been a member of the group, but I was not part of the email exchange. So my name was mentioned somewhere, and then Googling myself, I found myself there, and I wanted to know why. Then when I started finding people, I said, how can you be seeing that all this discussion? Then I started seeing the credit messages in the place, download June, download May, download that. So I started downloading them, and you open them and you can read all the discussions that are going on in the month. So this is the reality that we have. We are all using systems and we don't know how much vulnerable we are. Typically, anything can happen. An HR manager carries an Excel sheet of all employees' salaries and then their details and takes it home. The wife is going to use a computer, sits by it and sees it. And then the next time you're having picnic, he looks at you and looks at your husband some way because he knows how much you receive. This is true. It's very typical. She won't say anything. I hope you understand. The husband didn't do anything wrong. He was tired, just on the laptop. What if you went in and by mistake, instead of putting 3, you made yours 10? So instead of 3,000 Ghana, now it's 10,000 Ghana, that's coming to account next month. That's happened. But you see, we call this non-obvious relationship awareness. Things that the data is so scattered that your information on your phone. Think about it. Some of you, if your phone gets lost today, you will never feel easy. Because the way you are putting data on it, the kind of conversations you are having, only you know. That's why some girls are very sensitive. Guess that can be fixed. So by chance, it doesn't sound, I said it's not for them, I saw the text is even landing. Because you know the message already. So if you are sitting by them, you will not even have 2 seconds, let me see what you are doing. That time is gone. And you to the phone. But guys, we don't care. We put information on their phone and we leave it around. No, but the guys who care about the part is on my phone. You know, those are people who get from this area. Have I touched yours before? Yes, so non-obvious relationship awareness, things are what is such a system that separates information from diverse places and creates identities on them. And you see this in the movies all the time. Sometimes it looks too futuristic and it's only happening in the movies. But these are realistic things that can easily happen here. Maybe our current CIDs and BNIs may not be thinking about that. But when you are in trouble, you see that almost every information. This just happened like you find out that a lady in your office has a problem. And didn't come to work. And you just happen to be giving her a call. No, he's the one who knows how to say better. How does he really do how to say better? For all you know, the left time he gives him, after picking her, picks the wife too. So there's no conversation even in the car. But because he picks a question from the office, anything that happens, oh, let's ask Kwame. He knows a question. He knows where he might not even know where he lives. Some ladies will drop at a different house. So how do you know that that's where So really, you can't actually know anything now that's really going on. But at one point in time, you can create a profile and get to understand that this may be what the issues that may be going on. So one of the things that we want to try and understand is that when, in terms of all these ethical issues, whose responsibility it is? Who will take the responsibility, who will be responsible for the potential costs and obligations of decisions that come out as a result of ethical breaches? Accountability, how do we even identify them? Liability, permitting individuals to recover damages. Is it always the opportunity? Do you always have the opportunity to be able to say that you were right or these people have wronged you? Sometimes because the law doesn't exist, even if they are breaching it, nobody can do anything about it. Like ethically, I don't know of any advertising standards that can hold someone like Vodafone or even many of the other companies who are selling the bad drugs to us on TV and in our house and in other public places. The due process, laws are well known and understood and with an ability to appeal higher authorities. Does it exist? So, ethically, we can go through some analysis to be able to do address some of them. First of all, we need to understand the facts. Secondly, identify the benefits, whether there's an issue. Third, identify the stakeholders who may be involved or who the ethical issue can influence or can affect. And fourth, we should identify the responsibilities that we can take. What options can we take on this case? And identify the potential consequences of the options. So what we're going to do next is to look at some of the ethical considerations that some academics and other people have put in place. The first one is what you know, the golden rule. Do unto others as you want others to do unto you. The second one, which is Kant's categorical imperative, is that if an action is not right for everyone to take, then it's not right for anyone. But this is always brief. It's not right for everyone, but it's only right for the empty. It's not right for everyone, especially with email access. Nobody should have email access, but every second you should have email access. Which I understand because you do some work on behalf of the country. But you know what happens during lunchtime? Everybody goes to the MD secretary to go and check their emails. So they all get up and move their emails. So you have not actually solved the problem.